Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. I'm Chris, aka Bobbin. Along with me today, I have Scott, also known as the Crypto Beast. Just a little segment we like to take out of the day to talk about what's going on in the daily news with crypto.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good day in the news today. I think there seems to be lots of great articles out there.
Yeah, for sure. Myself, I'll give you a little bit about myself. I'm admin over here at BigONE as well as the Asia Blockcast community. Just a little community that we have together on Telegram that we vet a lot of projects on the BSC side to come by and do AMAs. And that's a little bit about what I do. And Scott, you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I work with BigONE and Andy Lynn, and of course, Vibin. I do the marketing for Canada and the US right now for BigONE. So lots of fun, lots of using Twitter, LinkedIn, Medium, Facebook, all the different platforms. So I'm getting proficient at them all and learning lots as I go. So yeah, it's exciting.
It's like being versatile in a lot of languages.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, exactly.
But without further ado, we'll jump into what's going on in the news today. One of the things that caught my eye, as we know that the ETFs were released on Bitcoin today, so Bitcoin was able to get listed back on exchanges. But the CEO of Grayscale actually said that this SEC will probably also allow for the Ethereum ETF. So that might be something for big to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, I don't think these ETFs are going to cause cryptocurrency to stop at all. There's going to be some massive growth in the next little while, especially if they're allowing Ethereum really quickly. You can imagine that there's probably going to be more that are going to follow suit within the next little while.
Yeah, for sure. While we're on the Bitcoin subject, I wanted to also bring up, the Lightning Network has also came in and it has literally lifted Bitcoin up a lot as being a second layer of the Lightning Network. So it's also making the transaction a little bit faster and easier for people who are overseas, especially peer-to-peer, as far as like between peer and retail. So just wanted to highlight that in the news today because I seen something about the Lightning Network being responsible for the growth along with the ETFs.
Yeah, and it's funny, the Lightning Network is part of that whole El Salvador thing. They use the Lightning Network down there, I believe, for cryptocurrency there. Also, I read this article just kind of on the topic of Bitcoin. Brazil bought over $4 billion worth of crypto in 2021.
Wow.
Investors in Brazil traded more Bitcoin than any other crypto when the flagship digital asset touched its eighth of 65,000 in May. So per the data, investors in Brazil traded more Bitcoin than any other crypto when the flagship digital asset touched yet. It was revealed that during this month, around 756 million was spent on the purchase of cryptocurrency. So is that in just a month? That was that during this month. So just 1 month, man, that's huge. Like that's speaking, I could see, and it says Brazil wants to regulate crypto. Recently, the legislative arm of the Brazilian government hinted that they might be interested in approving a crypto-friendly bill in the near future. So I think they're following suit with El Salvador. They have the same kind of president, like more, not being rude about it, but he definitely leans a little bit more to the right, I believe, or he's left wing. I forget exactly, but he's definitely kind of the same as El Salvador. So that's exciting, actually. I'm super pumped. Brazil's a huge country. It is a company in a way, but it's a huge country that will definitely help Bitcoin in the end. That will be mass adoption once they start using that, and that will be quite the change for Brazil as well.
Yeah, I like to tie those two together, like the ETF network and the Lightning Network, almost in a sense, so where it's like this Bitcoin on loan, and it's like kind of what is backing this Bitcoin to be able to give it out. But the Lightning Network is more like a prepaid that you actually pay with Bitcoin and it's backed by Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. And the Grayscale ETFs are a little bit, they say it's a dollar teller to back it all, but that's where they're kind of running into a problem with right now with the SEC. So it'll be interesting to see how all that ties in together as we move forward. Another big article that I seen today, we talked about Coinbase the other day, are talking about releasing NFTs or taking in pre-applications for the NFT section of what they're going to be building out on the platform. But today there was a news report that came out that they actually partnered with the NBA. The Nasdaq listed crypto company is now the exclusive cryptocurrency performer for the NBA, the WNBA, the G League, the NBA 2K League, and the US basketball. So this is going to give Coinbase a really good edge as far as being able to take the NFTs and make it more mainstream to athletes and stars and people of that nature.
Yeah, definitely. And my one question, almost in a way, is Coinbase taking a shot at crypto.com as well by doing that with the NBA? Like, you can really see crypto.com lately, especially in the UFC with arenas. They're sponsoring arenas lately. They're sponsoring a ton of stuff, and in that sports world. And I think it's interesting to see Coinbase go after the NBA and the WNBA the way they did, because I mean, it's kind of like two titans starting to maybe potentially clash a little bit, which could be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I would look at it as a clash or just friendly competition. I mean, we need competition. That's how that's how things excel for us. Like when there's friendly competition and people can be working on both sides, the one goal is still the same, which is mass adoption. So I think as both of those companies and those platforms use their customer base to make this more of a massive adoption, I think it'll be friendly competition, even if it seems like it might not be.
It'll be like Windows and Apple kind of.
Yeah. Like I don't see Google and Bing having like presidential debate commercials and stuff like that. No. This is approved.
Could you imagine Biden comes out with crypto.com on his shirt?
Oh my God, you might have to do that. Sponsorships are open. It's a negotiation. So we'll dive into a little bit more of news. Oh, you got sharing your topic up next. I'm almost out of line.
I was gonna just talk quickly. Like, I just read a little bit about this, but Russia aims to replace US dollar reserves with digital assets in long term. So basically the idea behind this, from what I'm reading, is payments in the US dollars go through American banks and a clearing system, which allows Washington to block any transaction that they deem suspicious. He added that Russian government has not faced such issues with the euro or other fiat currencies and doesn't plan similar measures for any other national currency so far. So by switching to digital currency, they're obviously taking away that impact that the US could have by stopping them spending the money, which is honestly brilliant on Putin's part to even be willing to do that.
I think so as well. Plus, you couldn't imagine trying to house all that money. So now that they're switching it over to digital, it makes it a little bit easier to keep up with ledger-wise. And that's kind of like what the role of blockchain is bringing to the crypto space. Is, making it easier for us to have open ledgers internationally, which makes them more valuable. So I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree.
Another good thing, or I wouldn't say it's a good thing, but another piece of news that I ran across today. I don't know if you guys remember the OneCoin. There was a coin that came out. It was called OneCoin, not to be confused with One Token, which is also that big one. But OneCoin, I think they had came up with about a $4 billion market cap in between 2014 and 2016, probably 3.4 billion euros. But it was a guy in Florida that actually turned himself in today. That admitted that he defrauded the bank with this coin, and the guy was actually 61 years old. So it's good to see that there's starting to be some kind of enforcement and some kind of self-governed regulation, making people feel held accountable, because once these transactions are put into the blockchain, they're kind of there forever.
Well, and you can see some of the governments are hiring these companies that are able to track down suspected fraud or anything like that and figure out who they are. I forget what, there was another one that just got hacked recently here, and they've been able to track it down and find out who the person was, but they weren't willing to say their name because the person is so young. And it was like $60 million, I believe, that was stolen. And they think that he's so young that they can't really mention his name, and that they're just going to have to try and work around it and get the money back, which is crazy. Like, and I'm not surprised that these younger people, the younger hackers, the younger generations, they're going to try stuff like this. And in the end, everything is on the blockchain. Like you said, it's going to come back to people. They got to realize, like, all these little things, it's going to come back to bite them in the butt, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you got to think, like, for a 13-year-old nowadays, the generations are different. For a 13-year-old, maybe 20 years ago, to be doing something that was breaking the rules was probably, smoking a cigarette or something along the lines of that. Whereas now it's like we're in a technology driven world. So, these kids are introduced to, computers at a very young age. Coding is almost like a simple mental math for them. So they don't really feel like they're doing anything wrong. Like it might be like, taking a piece of candy or extra handful of sweets out of the cookie jar. So it will be interesting to see how they do regulations with the younger group of people that's coming up. So
Well,
that will be very interesting.
The one thing I would see, and it's kind of like back in the day, I remember running into an actual, what they would consider a white hat hacker. I ran into him in a chat and became really good friends with him. And in the end, he admitted to me that he got busted he was doing some bad stuff. He was taking credit cards off of AOL back in the day, and he got caught. And he told me, Scott, he was like, I'm not going to jail. I was like, how you got busted? Like, I thought you were going to go away for a long time. He was like, nah, the US government offered me a job. So
what?
you got to think that some of these people, like these hackers and stuff that do it to return the funds, you're going to see cryptocurrency people actually grab onto them and look at them as a future as well. Just like government will look at them as well. Like all these talented people, it's simple to them: return all the money and I'll not charge you, but now you got to come to work for me for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, no, and that's the purpose of these hackathons that you see different protocols running right now. Like Harmony's running a few, I think Polkadot's running a few as well. But these hackathons are put in place for this kind of reasoning, like where you could also find out the weakness of your project. You also have somebody there that can actually tell you what could strengthen it. So like these people are really key people. So I say for the young kids, man, keep coding away. The future is bright for it. Another very interesting article that I ran into today. As Cardano, they've been kind of in a bullish divergence here recently. They actually slipped off the third, being the third highest market cap, and was taken over by Binance. So BNB is actually the third largest market cap right now, taking over Cardano.
I could see that happening with Binance doing their big burn too as well. They just did a huge run here. So
I think with that and the announcement of that, the $1 billion that they were going to input into the infrastructure, building out the BSC side. And then with Cardano, I just feel like there's just kind of been like a lot of missing pieces with the smart contracts, and they haven't actually been able to implement them the way that they thought they would. So it's going to be, you have all these other layer zeros and layer one stepping up. So it's really going to be the battle of the races now, like kind of like where the internet was back in the day. And, you had all these different things come out, but only like 3 or 4 actually made it out of the gate by the end of the day. I think that's where we're kind of headed with the Ethereum gas fees, starting to be, they're starting to raise eyes. People are starting to, say a lot more and talk a lot more like, hey, I just don't want to pay those gas fees, and I'm not going to get involved until they fix it. And then, like people thinking that 2.0 is ready, and we're still not quite there yet. So it's going to be a battle of the races here in the fourth quarter. And I'm excited. It reminds me of like fourth quarter basketball.
Yeah. It's kind of funny you say that. It's kind of like Google and Mozilla, and then Netscape Navigator, which isn't around anymore, I do believe. So that just shows you it's definitely the race of the internet again, and what we're going through, which is exciting. Definitely. Yeah.
Did you have another one, or should I jump into my next article?
Why don't you pop into your next article? And I'll have one. I have one, but I can wait a little bit.
Sure. You can go ahead, because my next one is going to actually just be I'm just going to do the crypto from CMC. I'm just going to do the total market cap breakdown.
Yeah. So I was just reading on here, Coinbase to power social giant Facebook's new Novi crypto wallet. So we're talking already about Coinbase with the NBA and the WNBA, and now Facebook allowing Coinbase to power that wallet. That's incredible. I don't know, personally, for me, I don't think I'm going to be part of that whole side of crypto, but I'm glad for Coinbase to be able to get that ability to sign up with Facebook for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Another good thing before I close out today, I wanted to tell you guys, that the Bitcoin ETFs did launch today, and they captured $1 billion in volume today. So whether that Bitcoin's thin air or actual Bitcoin, it actually did bring a lot of volume to the market, which is going to lead me to my next point that I wanted to bring up. The daily market, the daily on CoinMarketCap, the daily crypto market cap actually exceeded 2.53 trillion today. Bitcoin dominance took off and got up to 47.7. That's probably the highest I've seen it in a while since altcoin rallies. Ethereum dominance is down to 18% today, and I think it's gonna the crypto market cap is being at 2.53 trillion. Very exciting, man. Like I really think that these numbers are gonna blow people's minds. And then once Bitcoin, no matter where Bitcoin goes and how hard it pumps, once it consolidates, you best believe the alts will follow for sure.
Oh yeah, like as soon as Bitcoin hits the consolidation stage, that's when we're going to see major, I think, pump, and not financial advice or anything like that. Yeah. You'll be feeling mighty bullish at that time.
You got to pump it. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm going to keep the horns on every new segment until I feel like the market changes. But again, this is just another day of hanging out with Chris and Scott. We just wanted to go over the news with you guys. We appreciate you guys being here, and as always, hope you guys have a great day or a great evening wherever you are in this beautiful world.
Yeah. Have a wonderful evening, you guys. We'll see you soon. Peace.